Alright, welcome back to another Ghost Simulator update video. In today's video, we're going to be covering the latest update, version 1.160 or point 1 of Ghost Simulator. This is a relatively big update in terms of content, but kind of small in terms of actual update points. This can kind of be seen by the patch notes in Discord for anyone who does read those, which is technically the best way to get the information, even though sometimes I do forget to even add stuff to that. It only really adds 2 new things into the game, but both those 2 new things are quite cool, and we're going to go take a quick look at now. Now the first thing, in the biggest part of this update really, is a new rework to the Incinerator, which has been a useless feature in Ghost Simulator pretty much since its release. So that got a huge rework, so now it's both viable to new and old players, hopefully, to provide a cool source to go ahead and actually burn your items. So if you head over here to the Incinerator where it is, you'll notice that it first off looks a whole lot cooler. This was something Dark did. I had no say in this, but if you go ahead and jump into it, you'll notice a lot of cool new stuff, including a whole new shop system, pretty much the same incineration system as was before, but with a little bit more interactivity. You can click all or one to go ahead and select how much you want, and then also type if you're on mobile or PC, because it doesn't work on console for selecting the exact amount that way, which it is what it is. But yeah, all this you can go ahead and basically use it to get some flames. Once you do get some flames, then you have a few options on what to do with them. You can either buy stuff from the shop, or if you run out of stock or want to do something else, you can convert it to gems. The amount of gems you get for converting actually levels up with your Incinerator level. As you can see, we are at level 4. If we went ahead and bought like 5,000 crate keys, you can see that we would actually gain a little bit of Incinerator level. The more you spend, the more level you'll get. It actually scales up pretty difficult, so to get the highest level currently, which is level 8, you'll actually spend quite a bit. As you can see, if we buy the most expensive thing in the shop right now, we are only getting up to level 6, so we're only gaining 2 levels. It gets a little bit harder later on too. Once you get up to level 8, I think it's taking a couple 10 to 15 hours to go ahead and get from level 7 to level 8. But basically, as you level up, you unlock new slot items, including crate keys, gum, boss bags, boosted gum, and even a streak loot bag potentially once you get up to level 8. Again, more shop items can be added later. All that is up for a change. But overall, it's a pretty new cool system. It isn't too ideal to convert to gems, but if you need to upgrade your Incinerator level, you can actually go ahead and do that just by spending some flames to get some gems if you really need to. It is better, though, to spend your flames on buying items to get XP, which you can probably see by if I hover over this for 6,000 versus putting 6,000 in here. You'll see that there's a pretty marked difference between. Now, something to note, with these shop items, they do rotate on a regular schedule. So if you do play every day, you can go ahead and buy some of the cheaper options, like boss chests, crate keys, maybe these crate keys if you want. But a lot of this stuff does rotate and has a pretty limited stock, so pretty good options to go ahead and play regularly. Again, since these do rotate, there's actually more options than what you see here. For instance, this slot specifically will rotate between all the Ghostly Vision bosses and the Lucky Eye bosses, or loot bags, I guess. This one will rotate through every single non-rebirth loot bag or boss chest. This one will rotate between every single mega boss drop, including block spec keys or crown keys. Might not be the best pricing. Actually, no, it's actually pretty good pricing. I made sure that it was somewhat decent. But yeah, overall, it's a pretty good way to go ahead and get some stuff, especially some of these stuff like these crate keys are something that players can pretty easily buy. If you're wanting to know the math, without 2 times drops, you can get around 3,000 to 3.5, 4,000 flames per minute while grinding, if you're specifically grinding in the best areas with enchanted loot gum. And then if you do have 2 times, it is about double that. 7 to 8,000, maybe even a little bit more depending on how efficient your raft is. So if you take that into account, you can see that you can actually get quite a bit of these crate keys pretty quickly. Even if you're grinding as a free-to-play, that is around 1 to 2 minutes per crate key, which is a pretty good rate for anyone who wants to grind that. That being said, that is kind of why they're stock on some of them. And yeah, some of these items rotate a little bit differently. Some of them will randomize every single day, and it is per day that it's located, not per server or anything like that. But some of them will actually, like for instance, the boosted gums will actually set on a regular schedule, so you can kind of figure out when the certain one you will want to be on. But yeah, overall, this is stuff that people will probably be able to figure out on their own. So I'm not going to go too much more in detail. It's pretty self-explanatory system in how it works. Now, for the second thing added in this update, and the second big part of it, we will actually head over to Void, which is pretty interesting because Void has been pretty similar to what it says, with name being just the Void, pretty empty of stuff, since really all that's going on here before this update was the bow boss for crown keys, which is not a very efficient or very well played boss, but now that has changed actually. As you can probably hear as we load in, there is now a new boss over here in the Void, and it's actually spawned over here in the pyramid, from what I can see of it. But basically, there is a new boss over here in the Void. It is a mini boss, and it is only available for people who have Lucky Eyes Rebirth perk. Right now, the animations are a little jank. This is Roblox's fault for messing it up. Yeah. Whole new boss. You do need Lucky Eyes Rebirth perk to go ahead and see this boss, or and fight it. And yeah, as I was saying, Roblox didn't mess up all the animations. They'll probably be fixed in a couple days or so when I finally get around to it. But yeah, this, for anyone wondering, this is actually not just me blaming Roblox. This is literally a bug on Roblox's part that I was unaware of, so didn't account for with designing the animations. So it will be fixed at some point soon, but for right now, it's a little bit jank. But anyways, defeating this boss will go ahead and reward you a Lucky Lord's Pot. This boss, it can actually be found in the journal, and its name is Lord of Luck. Again, it is available through the Lucky Eyes Rebirth perk, and it spawns in a cycle in Void, including areas that some might not expect, like on the right and left side of the Void Castle where it spawns. Overall, there are 7 spawn spots, 1 for each of the islands, and then on the left and right side of there. They spawn in a cycle. It might be available on the wiki. It's if you ask someone in the wiki, in the Discord server, they'll probably let you know. But shouldn't be too hard to go find. It spawns every 6 minutes, so just go try to look on all the islands, and you'll probably find it pretty quickly. Inside this bag for right now, it doesn't actually have a classified yet, since most bosses and most stuff doesn't start with a classified. But it still has a pet, or 2 pets, and a board, and then also drops a few different items than usual. Instead of just the normal crate keys, it'll actually go ahead and reward up to it can actually reward some crown keys too. So if we go ahead and look over the use, you can see some gems, crate keys, pet, 2 boards, a pet, like normal, but also it has a crown keys, which is another way to go ahead and get crown keys. It isn't going to be better than going ahead and grinding boss bow, just because the rates are pretty low to make up for the fact that it has so much other stuff in it. I actually might have made the rates a little too high for some of the stuff like crate keys, so those will probably be nerfed in the next update. Not too big of an issue. I don't think nerfing it is going to be too bad, just because it is kind of ridiculous anyways. Like, you know, I think it being too good on release is okay. I don't see any problems with that, to be honest. But yeah, pretty cool loot bag. In addition to these 2 updates, there's a few other balance changes. The big one being Ghost in Remnant Zone will now go ahead and drop a little bit more advanced parts in the bonus biomes. So if you're vacuuming Ghosts for upgrading your antenna and you're low on enchanted tender parts, which I don't think most people going through Remnant Zone are, you can go ahead and go to bonus biomes. This was actually done to balance how the flame distribution works for Remnant Zone, just to keep it similar to how it works in other areas. It shouldn't impact too much. It might make gum grinding a little bit better, which is kind of annoying because I did a 3% nerf or something like that, plus ghost spawns, which people can argue how much exactly that affects. I've heard anything from the additional ghosts in the Castle Gardens adds more ghosts and therefore increases the grinding rate to the ghosts being removed from the other areas. Yeah, you guys can debate that. I think overall it was about the same, just because there were so many extra ghosts anyways. But people can argue. But yeah, now the ghosts over here in the bonus biomes will be going ahead and dropping a little bit more advanced or enchanted parts to go ahead and make grinding them a little bit better for flame specifically. They won't be dropping more, they'll just be dropping it more often, which I know is something that I didn't really clarify on last update with the Remnant Route 2 buff too much, where Remnant Route 2 actually got a buff in its item drops at double, but got reduced amounts, and some people weren't paying attention to that. But yeah, anyways, I think that's it for this update. I don't think there was too much time for other miscellaneous changes, unlike in some other previous updates. So yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed this update. I definitely had a lot of fun finally making the Incinerator useful, and then also doing some animations for the boss. Hopefully I'll get those fixed so they actually look good again. But yeah, hopefully you guys are enjoying the update. The best way to make use of the Incinerator is going to be play on a regular basis to go ahead and get those cheap items every time it refreshes. And I will see you guys hopefully, based on this stream based on this video not having too much issues with lag, hopefully on Monday for hard mode stream. But my internet's been having issues, so I don't know if that'll actually happen. Anyways, I will see you guys later. Bye.